Today I'm sharing how I made this neutral farmhouse riser using simple materials and a $5 budget. I wanted something that looked high-end and cozy, but still felt handmade and approachable. So let me show you how this came together. I started by using a cutting board from Dollar Tree, that red little sign that I got from St. Vinny's, and then the 3 little pegs as the feet. And I painted with the chalk paint the whole board. Oh, excuse me, I also had the paint sticks, 4 of them, and so I painted those white as well. And then here I am painting the little feet. I had to sand all of that down before I painted the white chalk paint because I knew I was going to distress it and sand it a little bit. I took the burnt umber and I just painted all of the cracks and corners in it. So I wasn't real concerned about it being like super straight or whatever. And then I just went about distressing everything. I used a couple different colors. There really was a lot of painting in this project, which is okay for me. I liked it. And I have to say I'm getting better about less is more for distressing. Although you'll notice when I do the paintbrushes, there is one time that I had to go back and put some white on. Right there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go back and do a little bit of fixing on that one. Yep, and there it is. But that's the great thing about the paint. You know, you mess up, you can always just go back and fix it. And then I took off the little rubber pieces to paint the whole back because this actually turns into the door, the barn door. So, you know, you'll be able to see the back. And I just took my heating tool and dried the paint because I get a little anxious when it's time to start putting it all together. So I had that hardware I bought from Hobby Lobby, and I thought that was going to be the door handle, but you'll see later that it is just too long. So here I have the pot, the flower pot, and I just paint that, and I'm gluing on the legs here. And I used super glue, wood glue from Dollar Tree. And I measured the paint sticks and I cut them, and this is the border of the door. And all I did was use that cutting tool there. They cut real easy. I did have to flip them over because it wasn't quite long enough, but it cut real easy. And here I just measured and put the door onto the back of the riser, and I used a little bit of super glue to hold it, that instant hold. And this is where I'm deciding that is not going to work. It's just too long. But to do the X's for the door, I ran out of paint sticks, but I did have burlap, and I don't know where that footage went, but all I did was just distress the burlap like I did the sticks. And I'm just wrapping twine around the flower pot because I just want it all to be kind of like rustic, cohesive. You guys know that's my style now. I'm trying to decide if I wanted a bow or a button or what I wanted on there. I knew I wanted something, but all of my burlap bows were just too big. And at this point, I'm like, well, maybe that will work. I think I set it aside and then went and got my buttons. Yep. So I'm trying out different buttons. I just can't seem to find what really, really fits. And then I thought, okay, that looks pretty good. So I took twine and made it look like it was sewn. I just stuck twine through a few times. And I glued it right onto the twine there on the pot. And for now, I'm happy with it. Then I go and, well, I clamp it so it dries. But then I end up distressing that pot as well. And I put some fake flowers in there. Lots of green and a little bit of lavender. And I believe those picks came from Dollar Tree. I was actually pretty pleased with the lavender. Those didn't look so like cheap and fake. Unfortunately, you see later, I changed my mind again anyway, and I used dried lavender. But that's the cool thing about crafting and making it your own. You can, fix something and think it looks great, walk away and come back and go, oh yeah, you know what? I think this would look better. It's fun to be creative. Now I just have to put the hardware on, which is what I have here. I had a heck of a time finding hardware to buy that was small enough for the door. Because I have to cut that in half, and that was pretty difficult to do. There they are put on, and it looks pretty cool, I think. And you can't tell that the cross is the cork board. I thought that was really cool. And here I think I'm done. Until I leave it for a day when I get the handle. So there, I finally found a handle. Where did I find that? I found that at Hobby Lobby. I found it at Hobby Lobby, and I didn't need to drill because obviously paint sticks are very, very thin. Just put a little pressure on the screw and it screwed right in, no problem. And there, I took out the fake lavender and I put some dried lavender in, and it really elevated it, I think. You'll see that I also decided I didn't like the button anymore, so I took that off as well. And I only had little white beads, so I had to sand them all down before I could paint them, because I just wanted them brown. And this is what I'm doing here, painting. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm distressing the pot some more. I also wanted that darker. That's right, I wanted the distressing darker because I did just a light beige the first time, so this time I went back in with the darker burnt umber. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing here. And then I added the Spanish moss in there because I wanted that actually peeking out of the bottom. And so I'm just kind of putting it in and getting ready to glue it down. This is where I'm sanding it off and then repainting it. Gluing that moss in and then gluing the pot right onto it. And then I did just take a little bit of hairspray along the bottom there and sprayed the moss. That really works well. Here I'm threading the 3 beads that I took. Because I actually end up taking off that whole top. And redoing that whole top. First I thought maybe if I just added the beads, then it was like, no, that didn't work. I did not like it, so. Took it all off. Had to repaint some of the pot there because I did some shadowing stuff with the button, but it wasn't a big deal. And I lost some footage, but you all know how to put twine around a flower pot. And yeah, that's where I'm just painting it. I started with the thicker twine. I didn't like it. Then I went to the thinner. But I love how this riser turned out. It adds just enough height and warmth without overwhelming the space. If you enjoyed this build, make sure you're subscribed. I share new rustic farmhouse DIY projects every week. And let me know in the comments where you would style this in your home. See you in the next one.